What's up? What's up? What's up? How are we doing, guys? I literally just broke my fast, and I'm about to finally have, like a normal human being, my coffee. This is a sight you guys haven't seen in a while.
Huh? I got it. I got it.
KJW, what's up, brother? Mario. Yeah, this is a sight you guys haven't seen in a while, right? Ghosts, what's up? No, it has been a while since I've drank coffee on live and smoked hookah, right? It's 10 more days, guys. 10 more days, and be fasting will be over with. Not that I'm anticipating it or I can't wait. It's because it's been very soulfully full. Like, for the first time in a whole year, you feel for a whole month, you literally are so in tuned with your soul more than your, physical well-being. Man, it feels good. I liked your video breaking down the AMC board. Now I understand why some people don't like them. You know what, KJW? Believe it or not, I was so let down. I was so let down. Um, we had a couple members. Well, Warren, the legend. What's up, brother? Uh, I posted something about it on a Facebook group, AMC group that was there, trying to explain to the people the same thing. And you have no idea how much hate I've received and how much like FUs and all that stuff I received. And I was like, I'm not telling anyone to sell. Quite the contrary. I'm trying to get anybody to to see to see what these people are doing. And in the same strength, I was like, when they said provide proof, like the few that said provide proof, I show them the video, and then what I get in return is like, oh, this guy's trying to push his YouTube channel. He's trying to go for views. And I was like, oh my God. If I wanted to, if that was my case, um, I would have uploaded the video there and just shared it there instead of, writing a status saying in words, you know. But they asked to show proof, so I gave them proof. I'm not gonna walk them through on type. Um, but you have no idea. Now I 100% believe, guys, 100% know why the other side, the enemy, think and look at us the way they do. Because we do have amongst our ranks, we do have a lot of ignorance and pure just following. That video, when I brought it out, it's not to get anybody. Clearly, everybody knows it's not to get anyone to sell. Um, Thank you, Warren. You're too kind, brother. Appreciate you. It's an honor to be viewed by anyone, let alone by someone like you, a hero. Um, and my point is, I showed in that video the difference between two boards. We as AMC form a much more danger to the system, to their system that they're building, or that they have built, that web of corruption. We pose such threat to those webs, to that net, uh, and in the same time, they're afraid of that from AMC more than any other stock, more than GME, more than anyone else. Even though they both like are in the same in the same wagon, but AMC, simply because it's so much more manipulated and suppressed, clearly will be the one to end Wall Street. Like, it's just going to end Wall Street as we know it. I wholeheartedly believe that, guys. Um, and that's why you see that level of suppression. I mean, if you look with an open mind on that video and look at the action of the transactions that board, AMC's board, was doing, how can we be hypocrites? I understand they're not supposed to deliver a squeeze to us. I understand the CEO is not supposed to deliver a squeeze to us. But guys, I'm not saying we want them. I need them to deliver a squeeze to us. I just showed an example between this board of AMC and this board of GME and what they were doing. Gloria, how are you? Good evening. Welcome. And I just wanted to show the difference between two boards and what they're doing. You had on this board, you had board members that were doing nothing but dumping shares and buying, acquiring shares and dumping them back again. So it was like kind of more like a rinse and repeat process. And if you looked at the timings and go back in time, every crucial moment we came down to the wire and we needed, we had them completely cornered, somehow shares showed up, real shares, that is. And that was my thing. I want to shine some light on that because the board, that whole board, has been getting away with a lot of privileges and we need to hold them accountable. Just like, because by them selling their shares, they're not necessarily trying to make the company better. In fact, that doesn't affect the company at all. What it affects it as, like, from the perspective that it affects it from the perspective of, you give out more shares, you're dumping more shares on the market at a crucial moment where you're giving these bullets. Think of it like this: if shorts were the gun, our board was providing the bullets. And that's how I can describe it best. Why are you giving these shorts what they need so that they can try to short the stock and throw the stock down? Hey, Kim and Mrs. Tahiri. Well, all the beautiful people here, of course, all of you guys. You know, why are you providing? That's my question, as in, why are you providing this? Like, if it wasn't for us, guys, there's no AMC. That's just the honest truth. And I'm not trying to make it as a big thing, but it is the truth. We came in and saved. We are AMC. We come out of the equation. What is AMC? If we're 90% and you take 90% out of the equation, let's just go with those facts. What is the 10% going to do? It will default. We are the ones who are driving those ticket buys and box office views and everything. Don't you think it's for the best interest of that board to also do their best? Now, I understand some board members in publicly traded companies, a little part of their pay comes in stock form because they want the board members to have some skin in the game. But it's totally fine for you to receive, for example, 10,000 shares as a compensation, part of your compensation, and let go of 1,000 or 2,000 shares because, of course, you want to live, right? But for you to get 10,000 and dump 8,000 and keep 2,000, but when the price drops, because you're dropping shares on the market, and you know who's getting it because it's not dropping on the lit market where we can scoop them up. No, they're selling them on out of market transactions, like basically in dark pools. And you know who those shares are going to. They're all authentic, real shares. They're going straight to the market maker and these hedge funds. And the sad part is that you know what they do with it. And when they get it, those shares, those real shares, they drop the value of our stock. And what happens at that time is that's when these board members turn around and scoop up more shares at a lower price. And then a couple weeks later, they will dump majority of those shares again. So again, it's kind of like a day trade mentality. So they're building their pockets. They're filling up their pockets while we're maintaining the price and the movement for them. And when the price skyrockets, they will benefit on both sides. So they're benefiting on both sides, but on our backs. I'm not trying to get anybody to revolt against something. But just like everybody had that energy to call out Lou when needed to be called, and yes, he needed to be called, we also need to call out that board. We need to hold our board to and our CEO as well to a higher standard. We are AMC guys. If they don't do, again, I'm not asking them to deliver a squeeze to us because it doesn't help AMC. But what they should do is not give the bullets to these hedge funds, these corrupt hedge funds, to shoot the stock with it. And I'll tell you guys something scary in a bit. I'll read some of the comments because I want to stay up to date with it. But I will tell you guys something that no one is talking about, okay? A theory that no one is talking about, and see how that fares, guys. Okay? Let's see. I have to drink some coffee. You guys haven't seen this in a while. Hookah, coffee. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much, Warren. I told you, man. The hero. uh let's see, where am I at? Highs. Oh yeah. Everyone did say hi to Kim as well. ATGJG 64. You picked that name very strategically. You knew that someone like AB is gonna like confuse the G and the J. What is the story with the SEC ruling on dark pools? That comments ended on April 18th. Good thing you brought it up. I was literally gonna have to. Where's my laptop? Yeah, I think I got it right there. I'll bring it up and I'll show you. Guys, yesterday I literally stayed up all night just looking at the comments. You would be so thrilled to see what they're putting out, like how many comments were submitted for that ruling. And again, it's normally after 2 days when it's on the register, it goes on the register. So I'm waiting for tomorrow for it to something to be said about it. Sorry, that was my TikTok. But I'm waiting for tomorrow for them to put it. What you got in that hookah, brother? Warren, for now it's double apple. And I'm glad that you asked this ATJG, but oh my God, you guys have no idea. One of the people that actually sent a comment, do you know who? I'll give you one guess. And I'll give you also I'll give you a tip. It's an institution, but none of you will ever guess in a million years which one of those institutions voted and not just voted, but sent a comment about this ruling. And I will show you guys on the laptop why this is the most important ruling, because every institute, the bad institutes, hedge funds, whatever you think about, they all sent notifications, sent letters to the SEC about it. And I'll show you all the comments, unlike any of the other rulings. Thank you for bringing that up. Good one, ATJ. All these beautiful people. I'm lucky enough to be here. It attracts all the, oh my God. It's not because I'm here. It's because Warren obviously is here. It's because they're all wolfies. And I'm honored. Like I said, I'm honored. I know it's not the looks, that's for sure. Hopefully it's anything else. Maybe it's the coffee, and maybe it's the hookah, or maybe it's the matching colors. Is it matching? This one is a little darker red. I get silly after I break my fast because finally you're drinking and you're like it's just amazing. Okay. So nobody wants to guess? Anybody want to guess what institution? Lee the Lion is in the house. Welcome. Lee the Lion became a person who just was like, you know what? I don't want to hear all the spiel. Just tell me what I need to know. Which, after a year or so in the play, I don't blame you, brother. Well, what we got in AMC is unbelievable amount of pressure mounting yet again. People are gonna soon from today, people are gonna get some sort of margin scare. Well, especially with what happened with Netflix after hours, that report, and now they're basically reached an all-time low, a 52-week low, not a year. Oh my God. Did every um did every see that how handsome AB and his brother is? Such a great pick, AB. Well, thank you. That's sweet of you. Thank you, Mrs. Tahiti. Um, I guess the camera hooked me up, hooked us up. Yes, they did lead the line. They did lose. Apparently, they lost, and this was according to specific numbers. I don't know, but Brendan, if you guys know Brendan, he's a regular around here and some pantheons as well. He said that he reported that Kenny lost like Citadel lost around $1 billion on Netflix today. But I can't 100% vouch for that. Like I said, it's not my story. I'm just reporting it. Hookah gives you cotton mouth. I believe it does. So, you know which institute submitted a comment besides all the other institutions? Um, Believe it or not, actually no, I would rather show you than tell you. I have to show you this. This is amazing. I'm glad ATJ. I'm glad you brought that out. This was amazing of you to bring that out. But hold on. Hold it, hold it. I was gonna pull an Adam Aaron on you guys of being in my boxers and and then get up. Okay. You guys are gonna be laughing when you see the company that actually voted on that. And I must say, guys, there was plenty more of people or entities that voted against it. Well, of course, because they don't want it to happen, rather than for people that wanted it to happen. And you can tell every company. I mean, if you read through these things, guys, I'm gonna show you now on the camera. I'm gonna put it there, and you guys will speak for yourself on it. Here. Okay. So. Sorry. Come on. Now it's your guys' comments that's on my face. Is that too close? A little bit? Maybe? Back it up, back it up. Whenever I need the comments to stay on the screen, they don't. They go away. Now, okay, there we go. Okay, not too much like this. Yeah, it's either break it or make it. Okay, so that's the regulation. As you can see, January 26th, it was put in. Amendments to exchange, the Act ruling 3B16 regarding the definition of exchange, regulation ATS for ATSs. ATS, obviously, as you guys know, stands for dark pools. And comments were due by April 18th, as you can see. Now we're going to say the comments. You see where it says submit comments? We're going to see comments are available. Look at all these. These are all entities. And the funny thing, look, even Bloomberg sent in a comment. Let's see what this one said. This is not the company I want to show you guys, but let's see what this one said. I just want to see if they executive summary. The commission has issued a request for comment proposal. Bloomberg, the global business gives influential decision makers a critical edge. Okay, it looks like they don't like this rule. The SEC Treasury and Board array the market. Look, they're serious about this, guys. As you can see, this is why I said this is the most important thing from the get-go out of all the rulings that we needed. And, people were jumping on the NSCC, 2021 0-10. I said, who cares who bails who out? We need to solve this issue. Yep. See, look, Bloomberg respectfully, look at this. Bloomberg respectfully offers an alternative framework that builds on the two concepts raised by the proposal reasonable alternatives section and the SEC historic approach to proportion regulation. So as you see this, all institutes that I read, all other comments, they all literally are signaling the same thing. Some will start with, we want to voice our concern, and some will say this is historic and there's better ways to go about it. But look at this. Bloomberg has a useful perspective as its various electronic trading services, including RFQ systems for negotiating securities transactions, were moved into the broker-dealer Bloomberg Trade Book in 2021. Guys, look how long this is. This is a comment, okay? Look how long this is. So far, this is the 50th page. Yep, 48 pages. No, sorry, let me keep going. Yeah, 50 pages. This is just Bloomberg. Now we go back, and yesterday I'm telling you, I spent a lot of time trying to read through all these things, and it was crazy. It was crazy. Look some of these names that's in here. You search them up, and you'll see that many of them are look, president of Fidelity Capital Markets. All the major players that we're dealing with are voicing their that they're voicing themselves, and they're saying, no, don't do this, don't do this. But look who's saying do it. One of the ones that said do it. You guys seen how many of this there are? I'm gonna look at this. What do you see in here? Do you remember this company? Overstock? Do you remember what the CEO had to do to get it to squeeze? They would know a little something or two, right? They would know one or two things about corruption and dark pool abuses, right? You know what his message is to the SEC? Bam. Overstock.com supports the letter comments of the Chamber of Digital Commerce and Digital Chamber, basically, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes down here. He makes it really short and beautiful just to tell them that you're, that you guys need to do this, basically. So, with that being said, now that you have seen that, you guys don't really need to, you can go on your own free time if you want, the Federal Register, the SEC, and you can read all those comments, and you will be entertaining. I swear, if you like that kind of stuff, like reading bull crap and what big players, have to say truthfully, because, normally on media, they mask their true nature or their opinions or their statements. But here, they can't. They're sending a true letter. So, they have to say the truth of what they think. So seeing their true colors is beautiful. So I had fun with that. Let's see. Wendy, how are you? Welcome to the chat. AB, that makes me question AA and top executive of AMC. Don't get me wrong. I understand any and making money off display, but it seems to go against the movement, and I'm just being very judgmental. You're not, Mrs. Tahiti. That's exactly why I was voicing out my issue. And Future Whale, welcome, brother. Nice to see you in here. That voice out my issues with that board. Every time they did share sales or dumps on the market, is it when the shorts needed it the most, and when we needed them not to do that the most, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna make a very, very strong opinion, and this is my opinion. Nobody has to go through with it. Again, this is the beautiful thing about life. is that, we can disagree and agree to disagree. It's up to everyone, but I'm gonna make something based on my logic, not because I have feelings toward the board or not. But my logic is telling me that most of the board that we have on our movement is on the inside and is ratting and is on the like payment structure, because somebody is hooking somebody up, guys. It's very obvious from the transactions that I posted in the previous video that I uploaded yesterday. Now, will that mean we're not going to squeeze? No. What it means is that they're a part of this crap, and they are a big reason why this whole thing keeps prolonging. That's it. I'm not crying. Trust me, like people on threw stuff at me, like on Facebook, saying you cry here, like you should have known you're holding 2 shares. And I was like, wow, only if you know how many shares I hold, and only if you know exactly how long I've been in this play. I'm an advocate of the play. I'm not trying to get people to get out of the play. I'm trying to call out wrong. Guess what, guys? No matter how much you love someone, if they do something wrong, you're a bigger problem if you don't call them out on it, because you can't watch wrong and let it go on. Otherwise, that speaks volumes about your personality and your character and life. Even if you can lie to the whole world, but you can't lie to yourself. It's the truth. Again, guys, I just see it as it is. I showed you guys in that video the difference between this board and that board. And our board is on the take. They're literally playing. They're making their money 100%, because they're like, right now, we'll take money from these, whoever they're taking money from. I'm not going to throw any allegations on someone. It's just my opinion. On top of that, we will sell the stock and make money for now. But when the stock squeezes, because it's inevitable, it's going to squeeze regardless, they will benefit as well on that end. But that rubs me the wrong way. It's just really like sentimental value for me is so crazy on this. Like, it just rubs me the wrong way that we are doing. It's like you do all the work and somebody else comes and takes full credit or enjoys the credits of it. It doesn't sit well. I can't see it. I just can't see it like that. And they have to be called out for what they do. It's a shame that they're doing it that way, because it's, again, you follow the money and you can see where everything leads to. You see the roots of all evil. You'll see the roots of all beautiful things, and you'll see everything when you follow the money, because it will lead you there. And that's where it led me. When I see what they're doing with the shares, that makes sense. How suddenly the hedge funds get shares out of nowhere, out of thin air. It's not always synthetic, guys. I'm not going to be one of those shills that also try to spread that everything is synthetic and everything is naked. No, it is true. Like majority of them are, but there's a big portion that is real. And where they're coming from, I showed you in that video. It's literally as simple as that. Let's see, let me read, because I want to stay up to date with you guys. Future, what's up, bro? How are you, Tahiti? Let's see. Warren, I appreciate you guys. You guys are the most beautiful community and family anyone could ever wish and ask for. Honest truth. I was talking to Jeffrey earlier today, after the CS Trades live, and he was like, hey B, do you like asking me questions when we're talking about things. I really like that gentleman. He's a respectful guy. And I look up to Jeffrey. And he asked me, he's like, hey AB, you know what, actually I wouldn't even bring that up. It was a fun conversation. He was asking me about monetization and stuff like that, and I straight up told him, I was like, hey dude, I don't really even care much about this. Like, and he was surprised, because he was thinking that many people are in on this for that. And I told him, I even showed him, I was like, look at this. My channel, majority of the times, I don't even have the monetization thing on. Like, since the day I've launched it and did whatever, it didn't generate nothing but $60. And the funny thing is, I didn't even give them proof of identification, so YouTube never even sent me that. It's not about that. My biggest fortune, and this is literal word by word as I said it to Jeffrey, my biggest fortune is you guys. Literally, that was the fortune, the fortune that I was coming into this for, and I'm gonna come out on top at the end. I literally that however way this works itself out. AB grabs and digs at the DD, rips it to shreds like a wolf. Get him, AB. Oh. Well, I gotta be like the family, right? You guys taught me right. Let's see. What do we say about the media that we've made fun of and made memes of? They told us that AMC been doing us wrong and been diluting the shares. They were saying they're trying to warn us, and we laughed. You know what? Good thing you brought that out, Future Will. It's because that media itself, it's like someone who's playing double with a double edged sword. They know it's true, but in the same time, they like it, or they also know that they don't want us to believe it. They want us to go against it so that we could give, like, I'm telling you guys, when I was on that Facebook post, the kind of ignorance that I was receiving, it was beyond imagination. It was like a radical mindset. The media successfully was able to lose in some areas, obviously, and in some other areas they prospered. I mean, they made minds very radicalized. They radicalized some brains. I'm telling you, like they see anyone. If you say anything, even if it's true, even if Adam Aaron is online and he's like stabbing someone to death, and you say he's killing someone, and you're automatically, you would be labeled as a shill. No, he's not killing them. He's just making sure he's getting his massage. He's a good ape. He's a silverback. And I'm like, what? Like I'm pointing out something that is with numbers. I'm showing it. It's not like I'm out here just speaking on a podcast and bringing numbers from my own mind and saying that, hey, this is what I think they're doing. No, I literally showed proof. And all I want is for that board to have, like, I just want us to turn the heat up on that board. And voting is going to be soon submitted. So you got to know who you're going to vote for. I don't know when it's going to be, but at some point when it comes, you guys would know. But they got to get the heat turned up under them, because they're swinging it left and right like it's like a Chippendales stripping party. Literally, that's what they're doing with the stock. I can't believe I used that reference. Bob Loco. Where's Bob Loco? I didn't see Bob Loco. What's up, brother? What's up, AB? I thought they aren't allowed to offload shares during the squeeze, and it has to be filed well in advance for when they can sell. Yes, Bob Loco, that's normally what they can do. But here's the thing. From the way that they're doing it, the squeeze, we know this kind of squeeze for AMC is not going to be a 1 day or even a 1 week thing. I honestly don't think it's going to be even a one, or it could be even more, because when you factor in suspensions, then that's how you get what you get. Now, here's the thing that we left, like I left out of my own perception, was they can easily, because they get paid, part of their pay sometimes is stock in the company, because they want them to have stake in the skin in the game, as they label it, and those they don't really have to. As you've seen on that video, those particular stocks, not the ones that they personally buy into the company, they can sell obviously almost, I think they can sell at any time, but it only gets reported like a week or 2 weeks later, which is insider movement or something like that. It's all crooked and confusing. But I know that they were obviously on that video you've seen from yesterday, they were offloading them over, like the same individuals were offloading shares almost twice, 3 times a month. It's clearly that's not the case. And some companies might also have some rules where they can overlook some things, and it's okay to have different regulations. They could trade at any given time. So that's the confusing part, Pabloco. But when you see it, enough thinking, there's no need to think. Like it's right there, right in front of us. It's these guys are giving them the bullets that they need to shoot us with. They have the hedge funds are the guns, and the market maker is the gun, but they're empty guns. They need bullets, and our board has been successfully giving them bullets they need. So when we squeeze, family, best believe AB will be the first one to sit here and tell you, no Adam Aaron is his silverback. None of that board that is filled with monkeys are his silverbacks. We don't have silverbacks. When we MOAS, it's because of us. And we'll have zero and nothing to do with them. Because if we didn't have the rights to vote, since we're the majority owners of the company, if we didn't vote to no dilution, they would have diluted the company a long time ago. These guys don't care. They don't sleep about AMC. We're the only ones are the cause of this company, and we are the company. And it pains me to see them do this while we are picking the fight against the corrupt world of Wall Street, and then come back and make a really nice, sincere interview, and whether it's with Trey or whether it's after earnings, and say, hey, thank you. Because of you, we can have popcorn now. Thank you. Because of this. And hey, again, guess what? That stuff doesn't work on me. I need to see you do it in action. I don't need to see you do this and buy Highcroft and buy stuff like that. Who owns Highcroft, guys? Mudrick. Do you know who's Mudrick Capital? You guys remember. Mudrick was the same company back in March of 2021 when we were supposed to squeeze before June, the first, like one of the instances, because we had many instances where we're supposed to squeeze. And sorry, guys, I know I'm going like emotional about this because I am emotional. You guys are my family, and I'm not afraid of showing my true self, because I'm my true self when I'm on the phone with you guys, or when I'm on live with you guys. I feel like I'm sitting next to all of you guys. I don't try to sugarcoat nothing or do nothing. I just hold the hookah and not smoke it. And I'm tired of, I was tired of seeing it. Like when Mudrick back in March of 2021, they were that company that went and bought a big grip of AMC shares and turned around instantly and dumped them on the market. Not only that, for $1 or $2 profit, because they looked stupid. Not only that, they also shorted it. They shorted it and lost on that short. But more on top of that, they also released a statement to short the company. They released a statement saying that this company is not worth the evaluation it's at. So you want to tell me that a company that did all this to your company, Mr. Adam Aaron, this is for you strictly, if you hear this, and I know you're not going to hear this. And if you do hear this, I know that you're not going to reply to this. So you want to tell me that a company that did all that to your company, forget about a squeeze. I don't want you to deliver a squeeze, but that company, Mudrick, it bought your shares, it sold them directly, dumped them back on the market, and it opened up a short position, and it did one of the most disgusting things, because it's called the poop and scoop. You guys remember that strategy that I told you about? You dump the shares, you sell them short, and then you go ahead and you release negative media about it, just so that people will start selling, so that your shorting position can make you money. They openly came out and said it. It's not like they were hiding it. They came out openly and said it. They said, hey, this company is not worth this evaluation. It's not worth more than $5 or $2. And you still go and you invest in a mining company that they own? Wake up, people. I love all of you. Sorry, guys. If anyone tries to screw any of my family over, you guys have no idea. There's definitely true wolf instincts. I would get heated, because it's not just me, or it's just not one of us, it's all of us. And to see people laminate the shoes and lick the hands of these board members over there and label them as silverbacks and whatsoever, it's just so annoying to me, because they're wrong people getting the wrong thing. Let's see. Where are we at? I don't want to be behind. Wendy, I like the new pick. And Tiny Investor. I missed you. We all missed you here, I'm pretty sure. How's this hookah? Yeah, definitely cottonmouth, Mrs. Tahiti. Nice chit chat. Yes, this morning TM. Uh, I said buy a and hold was made up last year as a joke. I don't get it, future. What did you type? I can't put it together. This morning TM. Okay. Windy, beautiful. AB, glad you are covering AMC insider selling. It is the truth. Thank you, tiny investor. Only if you would know right now, my Facebook is filled with so many bad comments. So many bad comments and notifications. I'm not going to say all of them. Some people were open to seeing that video, but I'm officially labeled as FUD. And I'm officially labeled as weak and um, I need to sell and get out of the movement because I'm hurting it. So do you think that affects me? Of course not. When I got in this play back in 2020, I wasn't getting in for any approval or anything. But once again, I will not be played. And I will share with you guys after I read these comments now. I'll share with you guys a narrative. And again, I don't know anything about, like, it's just something that came to my mind. And I want to hear you guys, your guys' input on it. Let's, as a family, let's see if that's possible or not. Okay. I will bring up a thought and I want to see if you guys what you guys are intake on it because I want to run it by you guys and see because again it has not happened so no one can approve it or have a say on it from a perspective of fact or fiction but the what if I will bring that up and we'll see what all of you guys think about it. What if they sold so they could buy on a personal hidden account so they can sell during the squeeze? Oh no, buddy. Future. The way that that works is when they exercise those options because they pay them in option form. So they exercise the option, and the reason why they do that is so that they can pay no tax to very little, if anything. And then they do an acquisition after you've seen in that video, and that also makes it seem like they bought in, but that's mainly because they want us to continue have skin in the game, and then they will sell more than what they would keep. Do you see? So if your intentions were to just get by or just to get paid, then you would sell a reasonable amount, but you will not sell over 50% of your shares. That's just not how normally on Wall Street it's done. If you totally believe in your company, let's think of this. Go back to 2020, guys. AMC was at $1 evaluation, $1.90, $1.80. It was on the brink of being bankrupt, and it still has some debt. Had it been for us coming in, I understand Adam Aaron had to make some choices and whatnot and all this stuff, but there is no choice. Like there's only one choice if we're not in the equation. That choice is get liquidated. All these shares that those board members are selling for 20, 18, 40, and 30 and 20, those are at least 20x the value they were gonna be back then. And that's also a lot more than zero if the company was to go bankrupt. Every single person on that board owes you, me, and every holder of AMC not just a big thank you, but the biggest hug in the world, and constantly send you a Christmas card every Christmas simply because we are responsible for the wealth that they're playing in. Anybody else doesn't see that, it's fine. Again, everybody can have their own opinion. That doesn't mean I'm saying let's fight each other or go against each other or sell your shares or buy shares. No, it's still the same, guys. Buy, hold, and get it going. But don't you even want to think, like, since we're doing that and we have the best interest of the company in mind, and many of us are talking about after the MOAS, they're thinking about when AMC goes back down, they want to buy shares for long-term AMC interest. So why can't the board do the same? I mean, again, they're supposed to be leading by example. Let's see. Sagato, welcome to the chat. Hey, AB, I'm so happy you're seeing through the AMC board, brother. We can't stop them, but do you think they can impact the squeeze? When the squeeze takes off, nothing can impact it. Not no 200,000 shares, not even 50,000 shares. Not sorry, not not even a million shares. But here's the thing: because of the amount of shares that the shorts will have to cover, which is well above 100 million shares, right now, just what is reported is around 120 million. I know that it's much higher than that. It's impossible for them not to have way more than that. But we'll just stick with the conservative number, which is the number we have in front of us on the screen, the number that they're reporting. With 120 million shares, and you're talking about FOMO kicking in at that same time, the reason why you will see a billion or 2 billion or even 3 billion in volume on squeeze days is because that, like, literally, like, those 100,000 shares somebody will dump or a million shares that somebody will dump, they're not going to be that much of an effect because it's going to power and like be scooped up that quick, whether it's from institutions that are trying to gobble up shares to cover because they got margined and they need to cover, or if it's through people who are trying to jump into the play because of the fear of missing out, FOMO. So they can't affect us when there's it. That's why they try to do the best they can before the squeeze takes effect, because when it's the squeeze, it's too late. It's too late, you know. So what happened 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when they magically brought the price action down as it was moving up? 1 second. Excuse me. When they brought the price action down for AMC and GameStop violently and did some manipulating, halt, all that stuff, that was the last ditch effort to try to make sure they don't get vaporized, because once it takes off, it takes off. There's nothing that they can do to stop it. They're gonna fight. It's kind of like a water dam and a hole goes through it. Right now you got a small spring coming out of it, but the second that becomes a big tear, you can't hold all that water. It's going to tear through and it's going to come down and it's going to ruin everything. Do you guys remember that disaster that happened back in the what was it, in 1940, I think? There was a town down in which town that was it in North Carolina? Sorry guys, excuse me. My allergies are killing me, and we live in Cincinnati, and Cincinnati is the second worst in allergy, pollen in the air. But anyways, yeah, I think it was North Carolina that had this town, and where they were living at the bottom, there was a dam on top of the town, and there was a rich class that lived at the top edge, and they were using the dam as a fishing place, and they overlooked the dam. They didn't care, and eventually it broke, and when it broke, it killed millions of people. Like that dam. It was back in the 1940s, I remember. Tragic story, tragic story. And they all got away. The rich class, of course, got away with it. So let's see. Where am I at? I will bring up, after these comments, guys, I'm going to bring up that thought, and you guys will debate with me on it, and we'll see what makes sense. Warren is like, luckily tonight I'm snuggled up at home. I'm jelly. Ah, look, Mrs. Tahiti is giving out a huge squeeze, my friend. Future Will is smoking. Jen, thank you. Thank you. You guys are the best. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the kind words. Segato is giving a shout out to Warren. Who isn't? Thank you, Jen, again. Let's see. Warren Bill probably smokes more when I do. A tiny investor is like going music to my ear. I got you. When I bring up this, I want to hear your input as well, Tiny. I want to hear everybody else's input on it. Elden Ring. What is this? I feel like I heard of this before. Is that a show? Or is that someone? Dinette. I'm sorry, Tiny. Oops, I did it again. Two options with the AMC board. One, they corrupt. Two, they were asked by SEC to play nice and delay the squeeze. Is better than one. Is better than what? Yeah. That is very true. And I don't think like Segato, I think you're spot on. One is either they corrupt because you can't come up with a solution like with the transactions and the actions they were taking and doing. No one can come out and convince me, personally speaking for me. That's it, and perhaps you too, Segato. No one can come out and convince us that this is all like business because you've seen what GME's board is doing, right? I mean, those guys can make way more money selling their shares at 140 and 150 and at 200. I mean, that board did not sell shares since, like, you've seen it. It was only 3 pages, and it started from back in early 2021. Since early 2021 till now, GME's board have done nothing but acquire or sold like 100 shares here or 100 shares there, something stupid and unmeaningful, just to get by. I guess somebody's got to pay their mortgage bills. And I'm looking at those transactions and I'm saying, man, why isn't our board doing this? You know, and that's a way when insiders and board members don't dump their shares, that's mainly showing that they believe in the company itself. So what story does that tell you where the retail, the shareholders believe in the company more than its own board? It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a shame. That's like me at one of my businesses hiring someone who says, I don't really like the products that we have here, but I need to work. I need a job. That would be the stupidest hiring of my life. This person don't like what we offer here. He's not bought into the cause. I understand they gotta work and they gotta earn money. Nobody does anything for free. But there's a difference between someone who's doing it for money and someone who's doing it because it solves one part of their life, which is financial needs and situations and problems and situations, which we all do have. And the second, to do something that they like, something that they have fun and enjoy doing. I don't understand. Why would you even work somewhere where you don't enjoy? You know, anyone can sit with me and tell me, hey, this is adult life and blah, blah, blah. It's like, trust me, no matter what you say, you're not going to convince me any better. I've been through this. I walked away from the most secure place in a human's life, which is their college, and like literally a straight way to medical school. And I walked away from that by will to go to live the hard life. But that's because what I enjoyed. I wanted to be in the uncomfortable zone. I wanted to be in my own. I didn't want to live until like 30, 40 years of just nothing but schooling and going back to work and all that. And I'm not shitting or talking bad about any of people who's doing that. To each their own. But that's my exact point right there, is to follow your interests. Why be a prisoner in your own life, in your own prison? Free yourself. If life wants to imprison you, then you're the only person that can make sure that you have the key to that prison, to that cell. So yeah, so that board doing what they do, they don't show me that they obviously care about the company. They just care about this. Yeah, that's for sure. I've seen that in the transactions. Warren, I skipped a couple of I skipped a couple of things because I saw stop being a fud. You got it, brother. The masked investor, oh, TMI on his pre-market show said that the buy and hold was a joke being spread around last year. Um, Future will, while he is right about what is reported, he is wrong about the buy and hold. Because without the buy and hold, there will be no synthetics being made. Because these guys will not be cornered. If we all bought and we all sold, who would the price be at this point? No. The price would have, yeah, went up because we bought. And then as soon as we all sold, the price would have dumped down, and you would not have a mother of all squeezes play. You would just have one of those pump and dump schemes that you see, like the SBFM stock, that biopharmaceutical company I was warning everybody about. Um, what was that? That was basically a pump and a dump. People bought in and people sold out, and it left. Whether institutional or retail, they all came in and left. So yes, it would have been a profitable play, but it would not have anything close to a short squeeze or a squeeze, because we're giving them back all the shares they need, and they can easily close off their shorts. Because when we all sell, the price drops, then they can easily finish out their their shorting mission and easily close it out and make the company perhaps go bankrupt. If everybody did that, AMC would have not been around today. I can wholeheartedly stand here and tell you guys that, because of all the debt that was on it, and we all bought in and sold jointly as well back in March. Yeah, AMC would not be here today as we speak. Today, we would be viewing movies based on pay-per-view demand, and some other company would have came out of nowhere and they would stream straight to us. Viacom as a stock would have prospered like crazy if AMC closed down. And that's what was going to happen if we all sold back then. So yes, he's right about the FUD that was pushed out, whether through the community or from the media. But the idea itself is golden. That's the biggest problem that Wall Street has on their hands, is that they can't get out of this because of the buy and hold. They're cornered. They need the shares, and we're not selling them. They're getting some shares from the company, like the board and all that stuff. But the problem, that's not enough, because the board can only give them some shares so that they can suppress the price. What they do, I'll tell you how it happens. This is what my thought is, guys. Since the board members sell the shares off the market, which means in the dark pool, it goes straight to these people, to the market maker, right? And since they're afraid of opening more short positions, what they do is they don't continue to short the stock anymore, especially at this level that we're at right now. That's why I'm happy with the level that we're at right now. What happens is they dump them, they sell them. So like they buy it from those board members off market, and they come on the lit market, and they themselves process them as sell orders to help them with the barcoding, which means it just suppresses the price. Every time we have a little push, there's a suppression. Where did that come from? Well, somebody got their hands on real shares. I have an idea from where, and by now you should know what I'm saying. You should get the point that I'm trying to make here from where. And then they come and they dump it on the real market, because the board can't dump their shares on the lit market. You see what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. They get the shares, they come back, go on the lit market, and dump the shares as sell orders. And that's how they can benefit the barcoding, and they can benefit from keeping the stock price down. It's pretty wicked, but again, it's the truth of the reality. That's what I personally think is happening with how they could suppress the price. But can they stop the squeeze with those measle shares? No, of course not. Not even they don't even stand a chance. It's just sad to see that we, believe in a company more than the people that are working in it. It's a principle. It's a matter of principle for me. I am a principles person, guys. I have principle, and I'm glad because all of you guys in here have the same, share the same mutual views on life. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we might have different opinions on life, but we have values and we have principle. There is no doubt in my mind, any of you guys here that are watching, just the simple fact that you are still watching means that you have principle and values in life. Because what I've been saying has been nothing but is talking about values and principle about in display. And we have a lot of it, and clearly the board doesn't. And that's the upsetting part. Stop being a fun, Amy. Again, Warren, I love you. Yeah, I always have to have more time on things like HYMC. I'm not comfortable with it yet. You shouldn't either. It's literally nothing. Like, think of it, guys. I know people will sit there and say, "Oh yeah, it's gold and silver for the future and everything." AMC is in debt right now. It's not in debt. It's not going to be in debt in the next 5 years or 10 years. AMC needs to pay off this debt right now. And let me tell you something, guys. From me owning multiple businesses throughout my life, opening some, closing some, opening some, selling some, and getting some, buying some from some people, and then making them better, renovating them, and getting a new different business plan inside the business. I'm bringing that mindset and I'm thinking of it. Yes, it is a much bigger scale, right? But ultimately, it boils down to the same thing. If you know how to manage a business, it does not matter what other different business you go to, you'll fit right in. It's management is something that once you know it, it doesn't matter what career you go into, whether it's in the medical field, whether it's in engineering, whether it's in manufacturing, it's the same thing. Yeah, maybe different things that are utilized in that industry, but the management is the same. You're going to be the same. If you're a well-polished and very good manager and basically an entrepreneur, you could easily run the same thing anywhere else. So when I opened up a hookah bar, it was after the cell phone. I had a cell phone store, my first business. The hookah bar was completely different in that business. But guess what? It thrived because I knew the essence and the elements of what I needed to do to make that business successful. So it doesn't matter what you do in that business. It's how can you make it successful? And that's all it comes down to. And with this, AMC doesn't need long-term investment right here, right now. I don't see that point right here. When you're in debt, you need to get out of the water first. Right now, you need to cover yourself. Think of it as a naked person dumped in the middle of the street. Bad analogy, but it is what it is. When that's the case, first, you don't think about what you're going to wear tomorrow or next year. You need to cover yourself right now. That's the most important thing. You're in debt. You're under scrutiny of possibly having to shut down. So if you're truly genuine about the company and you love the company, the first thing you would be doing is getting out of debt ASAP, not down the line, ASAP. So popcorn idea, not bad. I'll give him some hands, like I'll clap for them. But let's think, guys, let's think bigger picture here. Popcorn, who's buying it? The apes, us. But majority of the people that are in AMC that goes to the movies perhaps are not even investors in AMC. We make a very small portion of the US population in general, as far as the investor community. So who's getting really famous on the popcorn? Maybe us. Okay, again, I don't think it's a breakthrough, but there's many other things, better things that they could be doing and throwing the money on, the millions of dollars that obviously we helped provide. And they could have been spent on much better projects, much better things, especially with much better companies and partners than Mudrick that literally shorted our company. Like, how do you get in business with somebody who shorted you? I just don't get it. And releases negative PR about your company saying you're not worth anything and you should be closed. How? It will never gel through. Like, it will just never gel through my head. Honestly, where I came close to buying the Mind company as well, but snapped out of it. Good for you. Um, Sagato, that masked investor is over. He should take that mask off. Yeah, I've always seen it as like weird. I don't understand. Is he like hiding? Is he afraid to hide what was he under, like under his mask, or is it because it was a trend? Is something new? Well, again, it's up for him, up to him. I seen that he's a much more on the technical analysis side. Um, but again, those are like that's a day trader's mindset. And again, there's nothing wrong with it, but you can't bring that mindset over to AMC or GME. You just can't for to a squeeze play, because then you're not in a position like for you for yourself personally. Yeah, it's gonna benefit you because you can ride the waves and sell and buy and benefit from the fact that the community is holding, and then come out here and act like you're part of the apes, but you're the one who's selling it out. Again, some of these YouTubers are just that's why I don't go and watch videos like that because it's gonna get me nothing but disappointment. Rarely, sometimes, like sometimes when I join, this is why I go and spend some time at pantheons at night. Um, I don't get disappointed when I'm viewing that, and most of the times I come in also when it's you guys, when it's like the family reading the comments with each other and talking and laughing. It's mainly for that. It's not for no DD purposes or anything. I respect the guy. I love the guy, in fact. Um, and there's a few people, that I rarely like feel like that toward. But as far as this mindset of like the TMI, the master investor, of buying and holding is not a good strategy. It was a narrative that they sold so that people can buy. Well, what are you doing? You're day trading it. So how are you trying to advertise to the very same apes that you're selling off on a daily basis? Honestly, that's a better question for the people that are following him, not him. Uh, Man, I'm glad, Future Will, you didn't fall in that trap, in that HYMC trap. Warren was like, "Yep, Future is sounded and looked tempting," and that's what they do. That's what they do best. They want to tempt you to get into this stuff, and they succeed by you doing that. I mean, when they got into this play, it was in the pennies. So everyone else that was getting in after that was coming in as they were exiting the back door with money bags. So, and preparing to hold bags. Mr. Tahiti is just a guess. I do not know if SEC did, honestly. Just try to explain the bizarre behavior of the entire board. I'm glad, again, I'm with the family here because I swear, guys, like if you've seen the crap that I've seen on the Facebook, on my post in that AMC group, and we had like one of the followers here, he I thought he was gonna stick up to it, but at least he was able to give my status a like over there because he's in that community. I like him still. I won't say who it was, but I expected a lot more from that person because all these strangers that didn't know me, obviously they were labeling me as FUD. It would have been cool to hear him come out and stand up and say, no, this person is not what you're labeling them as. Hear him out. Because many of them were just so ignorant, blatantly ignorant, just saying, oh, Kenny has sent out his shills early today. It's like, what? What is this? Like, why are you guys so radical? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I feel like everybody got so abused from that Weeble shills in their comment boards, and to the point where now they got PTSD. They can't, like, anything that says anything, it's automatically labeled as a shill. If it's not buy and hold, shill. Hey, you want water? Shill. Like, damn, you don't look like you need some. Oh my God. Trust me, I got called names. I was called the bum. I called some people bums as well. I got out of it. I got out of my control because I was labeled something that I'm not. I just got emotionally distraught over that. So ultimately after this, I'm gonna go and just delete all that stuff and say the heck with it. I tried my best, but man, that's why I have so much respect for all these prophets back in the days that came out. I mean, when the people did whatever they did to them, crucifixions and all, and I'm not like, comparing myself to that, but I couldn't even get close to that level, and I'm already thinking about giving up on it, like walking away from it. They endured so much and continued the cause. That's why they were so great. Anyways, moving forward, I still did not bring up that idea, and I will bring it up soon. Again, I'm just trying to catch up with you guys first. La la la. If the board helped us squeeze, I would be willing to buy back in. Right, Warren? Exactly. I would be more than happy. Literally, I would be more than happy. And I don't know why that doesn't make any sense to anyone else but a few, right, Warren and family? You scratch my back, I scratch yours, but ultimately we both win. At the end of the day, I'm your true partner. I'm your true ally here. I'm the person who made you not just a little bit of money, a lot of money, because clearly they were going to go bankrupt. And when I say I am, as in like all of us, I'm speaking for all of us. Why can't you do the same? Because when it goes up, I benefit more, you benefit more, and what goes up must come down, but we'll make sure that we be there for you long term. I mean, come on, guys. What Warren just said is like spot on, making 100% sense. If I just became a millionaire, you became a millionaire, all of us became millionaires off of this, wouldn't you have some sentimental value? I mean, I already said, whenever I watch any blockbuster movie or whenever I go to movies, no one will ever convince me to go to a Cinemark or anywhere else. It's always going to be at an AMC. And that's just the least for now. But if we become all like huge multi-millionaires from this, make a bunch of money from this, I know for a fact that no matter what, when the stock goes back down, so many people will buy it back. And we will make sure that that company continues to coexist for the future because of the fact, like the great memories that we have from this. But if everybody gets burned from this, do you think anybody else will still go to an AMC after? I guarantee you, if the hedgies win this shit, and I know that they're not, but just speaking, hypothetically speaking here, if they win this battle, and we know we've seen what the board was doing and all that stuff, guess what? I guarantee you no retail will be going to a single movie out there anymore. Their sales will become horrendous because we've done everything beyond and plus, and they're yet to do this much to their investors. AA is obviously a multimillionaire. Oh yeah. He didn't need to cash in and could have easily waited till after the squeeze. Not like he was living the poor life, and the board could have waited longer too. KJW, spot on. Again, the shares, as far as they knew, were worth around $1.90, and with a big risk of it going down to zero. Even if they sold shares at $10. That's $10 more than whatever they had before. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, you know? Again, I'm not gonna like wish it on them and not expect it for us. I know they have families, they have things, but I know that this spiel about, oh, I'm getting too old, I'm 66, 67 years old, and I need to diversify my portfolio. Come on. That stuff doesn't get off on me. Come on now. You don't need, what are you going to diversify it in what? We're about to go into a great reset. Diversify it in what? In Amazon? It's about to drop in value. Wherever you put your money is going to drop. ETFs, index funds, they're going to drop. Where are you going to put that money? Unless you're going to take it out and tuck it into gold bars, buy it into gold bars and stuff it into the mines of Highcroft. Where else are you going to put the money? This is the greatest place to have your money and your shares in. It makes zero sense, man. That financial planner that he's talking about automatically gets fired in my world. While many companies, like imagine Netflix, if he took his money out so he can diversify and he put money in Netflix, guess how much he would have lost today? A quarter of his wealth. Ah, KJW, if he's looking to retire, wouldn't you want to keep them until squeeze and then get out, right? I would if I was him. Yes, here's where deep state comes in, Mrs. Tahiti and family. Here's where deep state mindset comes in. The deep state, clearly there are these guys, remember always, who are they living their life around? Because we think of our friends and we're all in the same boat, right? Just like us here, we're all in the same boat. That's why we're hanging out with each other. We're all in the same, we have one motive, and beside that, we also are amazing people. Well, you guys are. I'm learning a lot from you. Now, these guys, put yourself in Adam Aaron's shoes and Gary Gensler and all these guys. Do you think they go out in the streets and just hang out with common folk and regular people? That stuff that he did with Trey, that stuff can only work on some people. It doesn't work on me because I've been in that world for so many times in the business world, and I've seen how they do this, how they can skin you alive while being so sweet and kind to you with a smile. So that stuff does not get off on me. And when you see them, you think about who they hang out with. Who do they go grab their coffee with? Who do they grab at lunch with? Who do they go on and eat caviar on a private yacht with? It's not with us. It's with these individuals, these hedge fund managers, market makers, big officials, big time, big shot money holders. So who do you think is going to approach who here? Of course, there's been a lot of deal making. If guys, if Ivy League schools, remember that scandal? I will mention that again. Remember when celebrities were paying money to supposedly honorable professors and sports agents or coaches in those prestigious schools, just so that they can get accepted, their kids can get accepted. Doesn't matter how dumb they were. While some of the brightest kids in the world just happen not to be kids of celebrities or very wealthy families, do whatever and still does not get accepted there, and they will have to end up going to a public college or public school. So clearly that shows you guys that the system that we have is built not on who deserves, it's built on who takes. And that's unfortunate because the majority of the people are not down with that. We're trying to change that. And clearly, who's pulling here the rope is us versus them, the majority versus the minority. The reason why the minority looks like they're winning is because they are also, while they know that they can't pull more than us. So what they're doing is that they're revering to methods like shooting people, doing whatever, doing cheating methods, so just so that they can get the edge on this. And they still can't. All they're selling right now is a facade that the stock is dropping. So who do they go to? Of course, they reached out to many people. They're not going to reach out to you and me, because if one of us get a hold of a hedge fund saying, we'll pay you this much if you just sell your shares, it will become public opinion. We all are heroes in this movement. There's no money that will make any of us pay, like sell out the community. Well, unless they hit up some YouTubers. They'll be more than happy. But yeah. So my point being here is these board members, even the CEO, they easily had. I mean, remember when he lied about that shell company that he was on a board? Remember in the early part of this movement, he was on a board of a company, an advising board member, and Ken Griffin was on it. And you remember later down the line when he was saying, I never met that man or spoken to him in my life. Yeah, but you both are on the same board. Sure. Somehow it got dusted under the carpet, swept under the carpet, and people let it go. I understand, because they just, sometimes people want to believe so much. They just want to, please just be what I want you to be. Just please. And unfortunately, guys, from an adult perspective, that's not life. That's not how you go about it, and that's not how it works out. They're definitely on the take. There's no doubt in my body, in my system, that tells me that that board is not on the take. And I would, and I keep saying this over and over, I wish that Ryan Cohen and that board that he has was the board that we have at AMC. I swear to you guys, we would have chosen long time ago. Long time ago. And that's the unfortunate reality. But guess what? Ryan Cohen is indirectly still helping us, because when he rips them apart in June, that's if the squeeze doesn't happen willingly on their own and they start covering on their own because they don't want to get vaporized on live TV, which is going to happen anyways. It's just better behind closed doors. Then clearly they won't be able to hedge against the positions that they hold against us as well. You know, that's when they will get vaporized regardless on either side. He would just be that much richer and more able to set himself and family up with even more than selling the entire at the time he did. I question everything and everyone all the time. That's good. You should. Don't just follow whatever, guys. Love it, Mrs. Tahiti. Future. Warren, I learned if sounds too good to be true, then buy and hold, except for HYMC. Future. Hey, that was spot on. Good one. Salute, AB. I'm hitting my hookah for the both of us. Oh, you too. You got a hookah. What do you have in yours, Mrs. Tahiti? Yeah, get it. Warren approves of future. I'm not a twatter for ethical reasons. That's Sagato. But I wish you could carry this message to AAAB. Sagato, I reached out to him. I literally reached out to him. Never got a response. Well, of course. I've reached out, like I said, on Facebook, and I got stones thrown at me, straight left and right, all day today. I've been dealing with that all day. And it was painful because I was labeled names and things, and I was talked, and that shouldn't that doesn't change my feelings, but it was hurtful because I literally have nothing but best of interest for the people in this, whether you know me or you don't, whether I know you or I don't. And to be labeled like that, like FUD and chill, and you don't know anything about the market, you just learned how to trade yesterday and whatnot, without judging or learning about you. And then when you try to provide them with the proof, because I just wrote a status, I didn't want to show the video so people would think that I am trying to promote myself. And then they said, go give us a proof or you're a shill. They literally said that. I said, okay, well, if you want a proof, here's a video. And that's when all the craziness came. Oh, he's just trying to get views. He's just trying to promote himself. And I don't know what to do here. You ask for proof. I show you. Now so either way, no matter what, I'm gonna come out wrong. You just are so ignorant to open up to reality or to a message. Which is why I compared it to the prophets situations. When the prophets came with the one guide idea, they all said, no, idolism is the way. It's terrible. Again, I love you guys. I'm glad that I'm with you guys here. But Sagato, if you got a special way to get a hold of Adam Aaron, I would be more than happy, man. I would be more than happy. I don't care. I don't care what people say. I will share it. I will share it, and I will say it, because when it's all said and done, I'm not looking for redemption for people. This is not what I'm in it for. Clearly, we all have the same reason here of why we're in this for. But when it's all this said and done, hopefully all these people that were labeling names and throwing all this FUD on people like me, because there's many others, would look back, take a step back and look back. Hopefully they also profit in this play. I hope. I don't wish no harm on anybody, no matter, even if it was my greatest enemy. I don't wish no harm on them, because I want to always leave that door open for somebody to repent, or for somebody to learn and say, you know what? Back then, I remember what I was and what I was doing. I hope that life and those individuals I did that to or said those things to would forgive me, and I will never be like this again. Now that individual automatically becomes even a better human in their life in the future, and ultimately that's what it's all about. Sagaro, Mudrick dumped the shares and then released statement saying AMC is way overvalued, right? You remember this? Yet we're getting into business with them. I've been permanently kicked off twice on Twitter, and I had to post it on Gitter, and no one there is AMC, but I had to put it out somehow. Felt the same way today. I feel your pain, Mrs. Tahiti. Trust me, I feel it. Sagaro, we've been backstabbed so many times. Trey's on video saying I made a cool million off AMC options. That fool Matt Core is a sellout too, but we will win this. Yes, there's no doubt. I will tell you guys again. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that thought no one has talked about. At least no one looked that deep, and we'll see. We as together, we're gonna either debunk that idea or we're gonna have a very intellectual conversation on it. KJW, I say we meet at AA's office and ask him. Let's do it. I'll drive. Tiny. That slip up seems sus. It's okay, I forgive you. Elden Ring is an RPG game. So good, but very hard to beat. Wow, so you were really busy with that. You were busy playing games and not coming to CAB investments. Okay, Tiny. Unsub. I'm gonna get you back for that one. Never got Twitter. Have a hard enough time staying out of Facebook jail. Yeah, AB was crucified on Facebook today. Poses of all of them as us against everyone. Yep. We need to make a shirt. Apes versus the world. I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, Twitter craps on free speech. Yep. Yep. It's just bravado style propaganda. It's always been. A lot of truth is gonna come out once Elon takes over. Yeah, I said it on CS trades this morning when he asked. He's like, "What do you think about the Elon Musk? Would he have it? Of course he's gonna have it." People, I mean, again, money walks, bullshit walks. Especially if you're the richest man in the world, and on top of that, you're probably one of the most intelligent minds. Scary intelligent. I mean, there's intelligent and there's scary intelligent. This guy's scary intelligent because normally smart brains like that. This is why I say scary intelligent. Intelligent people normally tend to not be very vocal or very social people. Okay, they stick to themselves. They reserve to themselves because not many people see things on the same bandwidth they do. This guy is dangerously intelligent because he can do all of it. He's a great businessman. He's a genius. He thinks many dimensions away, far away, and he's like on so many pages later ahead of the rest, to the point where it's like I said, dangerously intelligent. You don't get those. You don't get those too often in life, not just in your circle, but in general and on the whole planet. He's definitely not just a once in a generation or a lifetime in mindset. He's a once in history mindset, and history will remember it. So LOL, Mrs. Tahiti, do you think it would be as easy as that? Plus, I don't live in the US. He knows our eyes are on him. Could you imagine all the comments of hate he's read from some apes? Well, he balanced them out with all the comments of apes as well, other apes. Yep, Segato is correct. The bad comments are not by investors, it's by infiltrators. The same happens on Reddit. If you post a minuscule of common sense, they attack you. Yes, their game is to have fools wait for 500K and Lambo and to the moon. I added to your comment, Segato, a little bit because I'm agreeing with it. I gave up on Facebook a couple of years ago because of being kicked off. Warren, they have memories I have to get off of. There is so it's open but never go on. Sometimes you get notifications from like 2 years ago. It's like such and such still fighting you. Imagine someone comes out and like comments, sees your comment from 2 years ago and just comments like, no, you're wrong. It's like, dude. Yes, I just don't believe that the buy and hold method was spread around as a joke. I believe it was spread for people to really do it. I just don't know the intentions. I will tell you the intentions, Warren. I mean, sorry, Future. I'm coming up. I'm catching up. I'm gonna catch up with the comments, and trust me, when I open up that topic, I want to hear everybody's intake on it. And you guys, again, I dug deep in this thought, so deep that when you guys hear it, I want to see, because I look so forward ahead to see what if and what if and what not, and compare them to other scenarios, like come back and compare it to reality. So you guys, this is going to be the first time I share that thought with an outside force, which is family. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. Let's see. Who do we have here? I'll just get on a post live music event, but stay off. That's what's up. Terrell Parker, welcome to the chat, brother. How many shares you need to start a YouTube channel? Future, 1 share. If you want to have the best YouTube channel, you need at least 10,000 shares. I'm just kidding. Look, I'm trying to upsell AMC, guys. No financial advice. Don't buy, don't sell. AB don't know anything. But yeah, Terrell, Future's got your answer. Terrell and Warren got your answer too. It just depends on which one you want. Terrell Parker, if you own 1 share, you are a shareholder and should be able to make a YouTube channel to speak your mind. Future, gotta love it, man. Seriously, KJW, his comments have to be really fun right now. See, create and technologies. And we get to use it against them. They're supposed to be smart ones, idiots, right? Yeah, right? They're supposed to be the smart ones. I got 650 as of today. Future? Yeah, see, his Future approves. 650 is good. Not great, but it's good. I'm just kidding. It's good. It's good. It's good. Yep. You're still a shareholder, brother. There you go. Future Will gives you the Nike approval, which means it's a yes. Big fat yes. Swoosh. Terrell Wolfpack would give you support. With Terrell, wow, Terrell, that's awesome. Good, good, good. I'm holding for 16 grand and 5 down. No worries. Again, when you start seeing that thermometer, and by that, that's the line. That's what I mean by the thermometer. Go out of control and break. You guys saw that little meme that once upon a time, long time ago, GME had with that ship, and it had its anchor, and it was counting down the numbers, and it kept like going and going, and suddenly it broke off, and then it just kept going, and the numbers in the thousands. It's like, oh my God, and people are running away before it exploded. That's one of my all-time favorites. Oh my God, it's so crazy. And yes, Terrell, um, when that happens, in God's will, it will happen, hopefully sooner than later. Um, that's what you will feel like. It's the best feeling in the world. Yep. Everybody's welcome in Terrell. Welcome, Terrell. Yep. And Terrell is giving valuable advice saying, just be patient, guys. Yes, indeed. You're going to be set, brother. Yes, look at this. Look at this. That's why it's a wolf pack. I lost my patience years ago. Patience is a virtue. Yes, indeed. My shares are paid for. Patience is all I can afford. I love it, Warren. You're a kind gentleman and a great scholar. I think Adam Arab missed his management training class. What? Yeah. I don't think he even went to one. He probably was one of those people that paid to get an Ivy League degree. Yeah. Okay, let me catch up with the comments so that I can bring up the idea that I was telling you about that they could possibly try to do or be thinking. Warren is like, maybe TMI is just like no judgments here. Maybe. Do you guys see a 2,500 AMC price? Terrell, anything is possible. I'll say that, but no one can come out here and tell you yes or no because you cannot prejudge an event before it taking place. Like when it takes place, a lot of factors have to take place. One, the holding. Will the people hold, or will they put the shares on the market in an effort to give the shorts the shares that they need to cover quick? You know, all that plays a big factor. FOMO, again, but ultimately all that gets rounded back up to one thing: when will the people let go of their shares? So depends on the holding and the selling. That's what it comes down to. So if people hold, that number is actually a joke. Like it could go way higher than that. I mean, MOS status, when you talk MOS status, you're talking about probably like somewhere even way higher than that. Now, I'm not sitting here to tell you or try to imply that you should expect that or not. It could be much lower than that, like way lower than that. It just comes down again, like I told you, to all these events. When the event when it goes into effect, and when it's time for that event, all these factors play a big role. Hopefully that answered it, brother. Mrs. Tahiti, I share the sentiment. That would be sweet. Yep, Warren shares it too. Oh, AB, you have an AMC group on Facebook. I don't want to go Facebook. I hate Facebook. Now I'm going to be so tempted. No, I don't have it. It's not my group. It's one of those random groups on Facebook that I went on there, and yeah, I just wanted to spread the message to everyone. Trying to wake everybody up, shine light on the story. If you don't know now, you know, that kind of thing. But unfortunately, I was, kicked away. But I liked it because there were some people that actually did listen. So that's all that matters. Even if we can get one to believe, that's all it comes down to. And trust me, I will be leaving that group soon too, because I don't need all that. Jason Scott, at that price, I would have 55 million and 200,000. Oh, wow. Okay, Jason. So you're going to send all of us private planes, right? I get an AMC tattoo. Okay, I'll get an AMC tattoo. Just make sure it's not here somewhere. Not tattoo advice. Uh, I say Wolfpack pledge 5% of their attendees to buy an up AMC float just as a reminder of what we won. You know what, Warren? It's a great idea, but you know also what? If the entire Wolfpack really dedicate 5% of what we will make from this, I think that might be enough to buy out the majority of the float again. We might cause another squeeze. Buy and hold. We'll automatically become the we'll automatically become the squeeze, like pump and dump schemes or people. Squeeze creators. That's what they'll call us. A great idea, Warren. Tell Cam and Froggy. Mrs. Tahiri, I think you have been a little bit away from the spotlight. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This it's a Froggy and a Cam story, I guess. But Warren probably would upgrade you or update you on it. Um, yeah. Um, Dude, if the board behaved itself, Segato speaking, I would have owned AMC forever, and a lot of others would too. I wish someone would raise the issue on Twitter. As you can see, Segato, I am here. I would be more than happy if any of you guys want to share it and relate it to me so that they don't get the hate. I don't care. I'll take the hate. I've already been dealing with a lot of it. Um, and I'll be more than willing to address it. I mean, like I said, it took me hours, most of my day today, replying to these. Uh, some of them were somewhat okay messages, like notifications or posts about the about it, and some of them were flat out blatantly just ignorant on Facebook. So I'll be more than happy to continue. I'm already in the mud. Why not? Just share it with them there and tag me in it, and AB investments or whatnot, and yeah, I'll pick it up from there. I just need your guys' support though. You come in and say your two piece. You know, that's all. And I know you guys will provide it. Man. I would so go to that and then get Cam a seat on the board. Yes. I think Cam would make a very good board member. Um, I think we will take over, make a hostile takeover. And look, AB is thinking like a dictator now. Like, we're gonna take over the board, and then we're gonna hit out Hollywood. We're gonna hit up Hollywood and say, this summer you're gonna drop this, and this, and this. Oh, and institutional investors only will have an allowance of this much to invest. The rest will be given to will be offered to retail investors because clearly they learned what it means to believe in a company and hold down its stock. Take that, smart money. Let's see. Am I doing a good job at catching up? Let's see. Yeah, I'm almost catching up. I'm almost there. I'm like I said, I'm gonna bring up the thing that we're gonna discuss the most. That's the most important thing, right? I giggle so much, my cheeks hurt. Trust me, my jaws, my jawlines, my cheeks are killing me right now. But it's fun. I love it. I don't even know how I'm gonna smoke hookah after, because I didn't smoke this one, but I don't know after. It's gonna be like ah. Yes, Warren, absolutely, 100%. I'm telling, can't wait to meet you in Mexico. Well, honestly, I can't wait to meet all of you guys, personally speaking here. I know that you were speaking to Warren. And I can't wait to meet all of you guys. I know now for a fact that I've made a family. I swear, I made a family, and I'm very like family first kind of person. Everything else comes after, and I rely heavily on, since I'm an emotional person, I rely heavily on my family. So I can't see any of my loved ones down and go on with life. Like I literally will stop everything until to make sure that, I can be content that they feel better than the way that I found them in. Um, and in the same time, I have that thing called tough love in me. So like as much as I have for you, I expect literally without expecting, but I expect you to have the same for me. It's weird, right? I don't know if any of you are like that, but that's a B for you on the inside. Um, extremely extreme loyalty is whew, through the roof. There's no boundaries to AB's loyalty. Um, Loyalty is everything, and family is everything. Without family, you can't have loyalty, and without loyalty, you can't have family. Look, Warren is saying it's going to be a blast, Mrs. Tahiri. Yes. I wonder what kind of drinks. Sunshot, tequila sunrises, and I'm going to share with you guys some pictures. It's crazy. It's crazy. I shared the story with, I remember on that live with what happened in Tijuana and San Diego when I was down in San Diego once, because of Young Finest. Oh my God, there's so many stories I got to share with you guys. And I'm pretty sure you guys have stories. That's why I can't wait till we have like some sort of bonfire one day or a camp or right in front of the ocean, have a bonfire and just talk it out days after night. Like just keep all talking because after the squeeze, none of us is going to report to no work activities for a good grip. Um, we're just gonna have nothing. Like we should make a series, like those shows, reality TV shows where they all go on an island. And the first show that came to mind, and again, it's not because that's what we should do, like that naked show where they all are walking around naked. You get my idea on what kind of reality, like you get my idea what I'm trying to say, but we don't need to do that. No naked show. Just I swear the first time I turned on TV one time at night and I saw that, and I was like, what the hell am I seeing? Is this really on TV? And then I kept changing the channel. I was like, is this supposed to be one of the blacked out channels? But I forgot to black it out or something. And no, it was not. It was actually on MTV, I think, or I forgot which channel it was, VH1. And these guys were literally like, they were painting each other, and they all are walking around butt naked in the show. And I forgot the name of it. It's like naked and meet and be naked. Some I don't know the name of it. I just seen some glimpses, and I was like, this has got to be one of the dumbest ideas I've ever seen in my life. Like humanity have humanity has deteriorated so much that it went all the way back to its origins. The naked truth. Mm. But yeah, we should go to get our own island and spend like a couple weeks there and all just like, say our stories, have a great time, drinks and everything, and just enjoy our lives, man. What is the coincidence, guys? Look at the coincidence. What are the odds that all of you right now, me, all of you, are in the same lifetime? You know how many generations and how many humans have come and left this earth? What are the odds that all of us are here right now, knowing each other out of the millions and millions and hundreds and out of the billions of people on this planet? That's what I call meant to be. I don't call that as a coincidence. I call it meant to be. Out of all the billions, we're the ones that meet each other, and not just on any other generation, but this particular generation, this particular movement. All this was meant to be. This is destiny, guys, and I love all of you. Aww. Okay. I can't wait. It'll be the only beach around with everyone on a laptop for a while in the mornings doing market open. Warren, we're gonna start a new trend. You know, when you think of a successful business person, you always see them with a laptop on the commercials or in the movies. They're always in the laptop next to a swimming pool or something, or wake up in the morning, do this, and they're on the laptop. They put the glasses on or something. Again, we're gonna bring that to the beach. So, yeah, I can see that. Same here, Mrs. Tahiti. Saturdays have become the highlight of my week. We will be in sync too. Yep. Tuesdays for me, it's usually my only day off. Oh yeah. Nice. Nice. Okay, cool. You're a Bulls fan. I watched Jordan play live once. LOL shows my age. Oh man, that was a privilege to watch Jordan. Yeah, I'm not. I'm the biggest Laker fan, Warren, but I'm still a fan of his airness. You know, I'm a bigger fan of the sport, but ultimately diehard Lakers fan and Kobe Bryant as my all-time great. You know, that's just me. I mean, he was in my generation, so that's why I grew up um, idolizing Kobe. That's why. So yeah, look at that. Pistons, Lions, Red Wings from the D. Detroit girl, huh? Yep. That's what Mrs. Tahiti. Yeah, I've been in Florida over 30 years, but can't bail players. Bad boy Pistons. Nice. Hey, AB, sorry I got to bounce on you, brother. Something came up, and y'all have a great night. Love you all. You have a great night, Warren. Love you too, brother. Who's harsh in your middle? AB, does someone need a verbal smack down? How can anyone be rude to you? You're so pleasant, and a lot of angry people out there right now. Um, like I said, no worries, Mrs. Tahiti. It's okay. You never know the agenda of a certain person in front of you. They could know that you're speaking truth, but they need to go against it because it goes against their agenda, right? Um, it does not matter. It doesn't change me. It doesn't change anything. I know how to get things in, but then sink them in for a little bit, but then let them back out. So yeah, I've mastered that part in my life. So I don't harness any ill will for anyone because it only does damage to me, um, more so than anything else. Why harness negative energy? Why harness anything that doesn't either motivate you or move you forward in your life or in your quest in your life? At the end of the day, when you die, none of this is going to be very, like, you're not going to take any of that with you to the grave. So to me, it's all about growing, moving, and hopefully prospering together, all of us. Um, and I'm always down to take some hate from people and hopefully walk out with them being family and friends. It's okay. I'll give you some leeway. I'll give you some cushion, let you go off, get that steam off. But I will try to approach you, of course, with some common sense. But if it does not come off, then I'll just brush it off to the side. If it does work, then I just made a new family member. And that's what it's all about. Cancel culture is not in my book at all. I see every human as a human, literally. Doesn't matter what your book, what your agenda, what your race, obviously what your language, what your looks, it does not matter. Um, you have 2 feet, you have a heart, you have a mind, and we're the same. At the end of the day, when we die, we're gonna be buried the same. Well, some people get cremated, some people don't get buried, but at the end of the day, the end is similar. We all die, right? We all die at some point, and I'm not afraid of it. I actually embrace it. The only thing I'm afraid of is to ever be weak enough to cave on my purpose in life and not follow through with it, um, and then die with some regrets that I didn't follow my calling. So Always listen to that voice inside. Thank you, Mrs. Tahiti. I know I got another Wolverina in the background too. Y'all better recognize. If they believed in their company and respected AMC Retail for what we have done, they would not sell a share until the squeeze. T. Andrews 68 on the dime. Yes, I agree. I totally agree with you. That's my point. That's our point. Is you believe in your company, let your actions be it. Put your money where your mouth is. That's one of the oldest sayings, and clearly the board does not understand that. Awesome Ape Survivor reality show. 2 thumbs up. Yes. If anybody knows anything about Survivor, it's us. Imagine if they throw us in there and we have to go against hedge fund members. And at the end, you got to go through Kenny. And somehow we like walk somewhere and we see him colluding with Adam Aaron or some of the AMC board members. And then we throw them off the show just by default. And now Kenny have no friends and no helpers. So therefore, he's definitely not going to be the last survivor. They'll just put it up that way. Never trusted Adam A. And you know what? T. Andrews, it's not that I didn't want to trust the guy. I just, again, you follow the money, follow what they do, follow their actions, not what they're saying. Come on, guys. We're grown adults here. We're not in high school anymore or middle school where some kind words can move me and sway me and win me over. No, I need to know your true agenda. And to know your true agenda, I expect you to come out and not tell me that, hey, I hate you and therefore I'm going to manipulate you. I expect you not to do that. I expect you to come out and pretend to be my friend while your agenda is something else. 100%. They're not going to be coming out and saying, hey, we hate all the apes and we hate all the retail investors. So therefore, just be prepared for us colluding with hedge funds and institutional buyers. They're not going to come out and say that way. So you have to be able to, cut out or separate the good and the bad and know how to deal with it and call them out on it. When people lick their hands, that's what I called them, that board. When people lick their hands, that's what you technically are doing. They're saying lick it and thank you, and they go do what they got to do, and then they smack you on the back. Up the butt and say, here you go. Like a pimp. No one is my pimp. I'm not going to be pimped out. No silverbacks here except me in my life. All right, since I'm caught up right now almost, I'm going to bring up the topic. And it's a deep topic, guys. Pete, how are you doing? Welcome. Sorry, guys, I had to get a call. Did I miss any good FUD? No, future. You're just in time now to hear what you need to hear. That would be hilarious. We have a show. Yeah, right? Everybody will watch it. I mean, we are the majority. Okay. So, when I was thinking, what could they do to try to end the squeeze or this movement? You guys, have you ever thought that? I'm pretty sure you guys have thought this, right? Like, what could they do to try to screw over the squeeze? What are some of the things? Now, some people think about what is the reason why you can't see this, what I'm about to share with you, is because some people don't think down the line. Some people think down the line, but they don't think about what could be happening then. And I'll get to that in a second. People will think about what's happening right now, like they'll apply the conditions that we're in right now, and they will compare, they will look down the line, but they will apply the conditions that we're going through right now. And as you look like that, as they look on that perception, They can't see something that can screw it up. Like simply the buy and hold. Yes, it can't be screwed with except through synthetics and all that, and that only delays the squeeze. But that brings up a very, 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 very important point, guys. Delay. Why is it so important for them to delay the squeeze? People are not asking that question. I understand some asked like that question on a very brief manner, and the answer was because they want to see if they could possibly win. They still have hope of winning. Institutional investments or investors do not operate like this. As dumb as they are, they're not that dumb, right? I'm going to tell you guys my idea and my thought, what I've come up with, and let's see what kind of conversation we can have about it, because we need to work through this together. That's what it's all about. So now that I've analyzed that they're delaying for a reason. They're not just delaying only because of the hope of they might get one bailed out, or perhaps we lose and they win. Well, if that's the case, how can that happen? We are holding the shares, we're not selling them. How can they force us to sell the shares? I know they can't lock the shares or keep them away, because when you have them, you can get rid of them whenever you want. If they do a suspension, the squeeze can't take place and they still need to cover, right? How can they force us to sell our shares even when we don't want to sell our shares? When I thought of the situation from that perspective, you know what I came up with? Since we're anticipating a recession, and it's upcoming, and it's going to be here up on us soon, have it not occurred to you guys how many people have been dropping from the ranks, as far as people dropping some of their shares so they can pay some of their bills? Wouldn't it be possible that they're trying to push this as far as possible so that they can fundamentally get the people by default when the market all collapses, or before it collapses actually, and when people, since they see the numbers, we don't see the fake numbers on their end, but they see their numbers on our numbers. They have access to those privileges, unfortunately. Could it be that they're waiting all this time so that they can push it later and later and later and continue pushing it later and later? And this is why they use the board, and the board is here you guys go. Thank you, come again. Thank you, come again. Thank you, come again. Is it possibly that they're trying to prolong this to a point where we all crash because the whole entire market is going through a recession at that point? I'm thinking down the line, you know, and they crash the market, they crash everything. Everybody starts selling just so that they can survive the inflation and the life that they're going through, because majority of the people don't have, like many of them, yeah, buy and hold, but many of them don't have money like that. Over a year of holding, how many people do you know can throw money, a big chunk of money on the side and leave it from a retail standpoint? They thought this through. I know it's not many. I know it's majority of retail can't do that, what I just mentioned, as far as throw a big chunk of money and leave it over a year and a half, 2 years even going on, and perhaps continue to hold through it without having to dump any of their shares or their entire position in general. Is it the destroying mindset that they're holding, that they're going after all? Hey, I keep getting bailed, while right now they're getting bailed on a daily basis from the feds. So while they can't hold their positions, because I know they were done a long time ago, the only reason why they're surviving is because their market is on life support, and the Fed is that pipeline and that machine of the life support that they're connected or hooked to. Well, if that's the case, who is supplying us? We're not getting money, right? We don't get bailouts. We're not offered any bailouts. Is it possible that they're going for how long? Who can last longer in this? And then we can just get them to, on their own, let go of this play? What do you guys think? Yeah, future. Everyone I know, anyone in the play. Actually, if you have a small business, you can get a bailout. Well, the problem is, future is if you have a small business, which I do personally, the bailout, that's something like as of right now, that's stuff that you have to pay back as far as loans. And with the times that we're moving toward, that's not. Let's just put it this way: it's not some you don't want to go into those times with loans on you against you because they can easily come take your business when you can't make the payment and you lose everything after that and you be on the streets. Trust me, 2008 situation all over again, but multiplied by 3. Now the reason why those bailouts work for them is because they get most of that money gets forgiven eventually, and the ones that don't get forgiven, it's easy when you give someone that much of money. Like, think of it like this: a small business can qualify for what, like 15, 20, 10, 40,000, 50,000. But when these guys go get in bailouts, they get hundreds of millions. And when they get those hundreds of millions, it's so easy for them to throw, since they're in the financial and investing world, it's so easy for them to throw their fishing nets or rods in this case everywhere. And wherever they make money, they pull it out. But because they're investing that big chunk, then their profits are huge. And that's why they can, come back to the government and for sure pay them back their loans and give them profit and plus, survive. It's kind of like, I don't have any money, but if you give me $1 million, I'll bring it back with some profits. And obviously, as time goes on, I officially became a millionaire without having to work hard for it because you gave me the chance. You paved the way for me. Are there many people out there like that? No. Does that exist for certain people? Yes. So yeah. Okay, I think that the hedge funds have already been margin called. The government has B money, and we have been caught in a scam at not our expense, and they're trying to fix it. I can see some solidity to this, but I think it's more on the other side that I think that there was no, like, in a way, kind of like scam. I think it's just the hedge funds. It's the same thing as we see now. This was a way for the government to put out a lot of money, and they knew when all those stimuluses were out, people are either going to spend them in stores, but at that very same time, all those stores and big chains hiked their prices, saying inflation. So they made ridiculous high, like, profits in those times. And on top of that, the ones that didn't put it there turned around and bought shares and went to the stock market and bought shares with them. And you see who that went to whose pocket as well. So basically, it was a way for the government to put money in the market in its people's hands. In the same time, siphoning it back out of their hands for their personal, back again to reallocate it back to the upper class. So yeah, it depends on how much this is costing them, right? They will always get bailed out. They always do. And that is true. That is true. So I think one of the biggest reasons why I respect and highly love Ryan Cohen, RC, from GameStop, is because of that timing. Look at June. He could have done this at the end of the year, by the way, because it would have been just easier to do all that before the new year starts, right? But he's doing it now. These people see some things that we don't, and some of them probably see that the economy crashing and the corruption on the market that is going to cause a financial crisis, that they see it much in advance. And I think we're literally about 6 to 8 months away from that. And when it's up on us, I think he knows that that's what they're trying to get to. That these hedge funds are trying to prolong these two plays out, or these meme stock plays out, until we get to those times, so that people will just sell. And then ultimately they'll say, oh, like if the apes didn't sell, they were gonna squeeze like literally a week later or a month later. And I think what Ryan Cohen is doing right now is he's onto that. And because of that, he made this board meeting, and he's doing that on this earnings call in June. Um, so that was a middle finger that just came out of nowhere to all these hedge funds that just popped up out of nowhere, courtesy of us, but courtesy of Ryan Cohen and that board. Um, Hauser. Oh, I pronounced it right this time, didn't I? Welcome. Yeah, I think that's my two piece on that, guys. I think that's my two piece, and I seen Tahiti's and whale, future whale output on the matter, but we have like limited time. Honestly, we have some limited time to try to get these things to try to get this play going. We can't let this go on to 2023 or 2024. I mean, obviously we're going to be here if that's the case, no matter what. I just don't prefer it to be that like that, because I know there are many other holders with us that we need just as much as they need us. And they might not be able to handle the market and the world environment around those days or around that time, and continue to hold. So I would prefer for us to be done with this before 2023 comes on, because that's going to be the year we get screwed. Have you read this 2022-08 170 PDF NSCC replace Fed repo? I heard of it, Future, but I didn't read it. No, I need to go and read it, and see what it is. What's going on in there. Tony's Pedofino, what's up before bedtime? Guys, this is Tony is the beautiful ape that was you know that witnessed my Facebook amount of craziness that was happening. AB went out of his crazy mind. They went out of their crazy on AB. They were labeling AB as a shill and as a FUD, and Tony was witness to it. He bear witness to it, all of it today. um, T. Andrews, I fell into it, but I got out with some pennies. HYMC. Oh, I'm glad you did, brother. Did everyone say hi to Hauser? Yeah, Miss Tahiti did. She said hi to everyone. KGW. But if the crash happens, shouldn't AMC GME moon? I know not everyone believes in that theory. No. Okay, KJW, I agree with that. But my idea is, as we're going to the crash, what's happening is we should have crashed a long time ago, right? The market have been propped up for the longest. We should have crashed back in 2019, by the way. This is when the bailout started. So the Fed have supplied a life support, basically, machine to the market. So they keep giving them money, keep giving them money, keep giving them money. So propping up the market. The plunge protection team, of course, doing their part, to make sure that the market does not crash yet. And my thing is, there are people, as the market is getting worse. Remember, from 2020 till 2021 till 2022, now things are doing what? Are getting more costly. Everything. Rent is getting higher, food is getting higher, cost of oil, gas is getting higher, everything is going higher. When things like that, on a deeper level, that's where I was going with this. On a deeper level, when there are people that are obviously investors in AMC or in meme stocks that hold these positions, but again, they also, whatever is happening in the market is reflecting on them. So if the market is being propped up only until people default, and that's when they will let the crash come, and it will be like a double whammy. You'll see AMC, GameStop, many stocks squeeze, while maybe a few people are on it. That's why I told you, listen, it's inevitable. The squeeze is inevitable. I'm just thinking what they're trying to do to probably lessen the blow. That's what I'm assuming here, because that's what I would be thinking if I was in their shoes. That's what I would be thinking of. Again, I would never be in their shoes, but if I was in their shoes, I would be thinking, how could I make this blow lesser, like walk out with with the least amount of damage? And that's one of the thoughts that came to mind, as in like they're trying to continue to try to prolong this play and continue to make some money while it's happening, illegal money while it's happening, reach out to board members like AMC's board, of course, and many things like that. But then ultimately, wow, man, ultimately they get, with time, people will start falling. And that is true. It did happen. I remember seeing a few months ago, when people were getting margin calls on their accounts because they were over leveraged people, not hedge funds. And they couldn't come up with the margin amount, and they were margined and they were liquidated. So we gotta watch out, family. That's a very serious risk. I'm just looking deep down and really deep down the line and trying to read through the lines, as in, why are they fighting a losing battle? For what? For what? There has to be a reason. Every entity has a purpose in life, and a purpose for why it's doing what it's doing. And when you focus on that, you can understand better why something or someone is doing what they're doing, because you're following their intent. You're not following what they're saying, or just what their actions are, because sometimes they could be really good at masking what they're trying to do for a different purpose. So just looking at the whole situation that we're in, and the fact that it's a lose-lose situation for them, they're only probably thinking about how can they get this with the least amount of damage. So hopefully, my thing here is to hope that all of you family members here don't fall in that spider web. Okay? Don't get over leveraged. Don't go beyond your means. Be very responsible. You don't know how long this will take, guys. And while you're on it, just make sure you think a couple months in advance. Every month, think 2 months after, for whatever situation you're going through, because we don't know what's going to happen with costs and things as time keeps going on. Things develop. We don't read into the future. None of us do. But one thing I can advise you is always, every moment that you're standing in, make sure you have a month or 2 months in advance, like later, already thought of. So today is the 19th. Is it the 19th? Yeah. So therefore, AB would be thinking about June 19th already right now. What I'm preparing for that day, for that time. And that's already in the back now. Of course, if I can prepare for longer, even better and better. But the idea of FOMOing in, because you think at any given day it could squeeze, it possibly could, but not watch out from later. That's the scary part, because if you do, and then you get over margined, let's say 2 months pass by, no squeeze happened, and you went all in, and you receive some sort of margin call, if you have a margin account, of course, then guess what? You get liquidated, your entire portfolio. Not only that, but if it's a cash account, and it takes 2, 3, 4 months later, and life gets crazy, let's say gas flies to $10, $11, $12. I mean, nothing's out of the blue. The cost of chicken and beef and food goes crazy in the next 2, 3 months, and you had right now went all in, you will be forced to sell shares. And if AMC is at a lower valuation, you will be selling for cheaper. And guess who wins here? Obviously them. So don't worry, guys. We're all going to be together through this. On a daily basis, we're going to be together. We look out for each other. That's the point of this. That's why I have this community with you guys here. is for us to be with each other, you know. I wish I could share some of this Cinnabon with you guys. It was just brought up to me. Here you go. It's cold now, but I'll warm it up and see it in a little bit in the oven. I can't resist this. This is, even though sweets are the death of humanity, they're also the happiest thing of humanity. Look, Tony is like, "Oh, well, that was nuts." Yeah, right. You know, AB got called Fud, Shill, Kenny Boy, so many things. AB didn't hold back too. You've seen it. He said some things he probably shouldn't have even said, but it's just a sad thing that my intention is good. My intention is try to wake them up so that they can turn up the heat on the people that are selling them short, and they don't want to. They're literally like, they don't want to. Doesn't matter how many shares you hold, but that doesn't mean nothing is like why are you hating Kenny, for example? What gave you a reason to hate Kenny? This is a question to everyone in general. You're gonna start listing your reasons, right? Good. You have reasons, but why are you blindly following the board and Adam Aaron? What did they do to blindly earn that trust? It makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. That's like, I'm not even going to use that example as well. So that was my thing, as in, like, if people are on the take on the inside, clearly, and it's shown in my video that I showed in proof. When people sometimes don't want to see something and they just, you know, they get burned in the process, then they start pointing fingers out at corruption and the government and everything. Well, sometimes the fault is you yourself when you look, and you need to point inwards, not outwards, because you had many. My intention was just to show so that no one will ever come out and say, I never knew this. Why no one looked at the board that we had? Why no one looked at our CEO and labeled him for what he is? Well, consider yourself being served. That's just my intention. I told you, I brought it out. I got kicked, I got thrown rocks at, I got labeled names left and right. I was made fun of. Not that, again, it doesn't affect anything. It doesn't change my position in the company. It doesn't make my shares any less. It doesn't change my purpose in this movement. It just speaks volumes on some of the mindsets and realities that exist out there. I swear. And I still hope that all of those individuals, those very same individuals that were doing all this stuff to me, that they would also benefit from this. Because if they do, then there is a true chance for them to grow and emotionally learn. Because they might, I don't know, they might continue to be douchebags and assholes. But sorry for the French guys. You know, you're not used to that with AB, I know. But there is a possibility that they look back on this down the line and say, you know what, if they benefit from this move and they do squeeze and they do benefit and they do execute their orders correctly, which I hope they do, they might look back at this and say, you know what, we wronged such and such. We did wrong with such and such, and we shouldn't be this kind of individual. And from that point on, they could be a much better individual for society as a whole. That's as it is, because at the end of the day, we're not going to hold hands. So it is, what's done is done. They said their piece, I said my piece, and the rest is left for you know, for life. Read that, and then you'll see why I feel like we just been put in a bad position, which we will benefit from. Yep. What your message was retracted, Future Whale, so I couldn't see it. I don't know what it said. Maybe when I finish this, you know, maybe I'll see the chat later, and then I'll try to approve it, but I can't see it here. It's not giving me the option to let it show unless you took it off. Hauser, old Yeller throws money in, so no crash yet. Yeah. Well, she has to give money back to the people that are paying her speaking fees, right? You guys know back in 2020, she made $4 or $5 million just in speaking fees to speak at Citadel, right? At Citadel. Not a paid sponsor. Future, you think we will benefit from being put in a bad position? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's all about what we do here. Hold, continue to hold, and not shoot ourselves in the foot. And stay open to all threats. Don't blindly follow. This is what we have a problem with our board. Don't blindly follow or let people in your castle before we end up with a Trojan horse situation. Remember the Trojan horse story that we all know of, when the Trojans gave that gift and everybody was partying, they let it inside their castle, and when everybody was drunk and asleep at night, everybody came out from the horse and then they took over the castle and the city. So that's basically what we need to also watch out for blindly giving so much trust to the to the popcorn board. Not going to lie. I want the market to crash so AMC and sndl moon, and then I buy other stocks cheap, real cheap. That's spot on, Tony. That's spot on. Just time the drop perfectly, and you're done. You're good. Yeller. That rolls off so beautifully. Yeller. Heller. Yeller. Mrs. Tahiti in Future Whale. Hauser saying hi. What happened to all the FTDs from last year? What happened to all the short positions? What happened to all the institutional holders that somehow disappeared this year? Future, I'll tell you how one leads to the other. Okay. And watch how this whole explanation right now is gonna show you the chain, the whole food chain, and it's gonna explain. Ultimately, it's gonna come down to the price. Okay, watch this. So FTDs, they continue to get stored in an off security place, similar to one that just burnt down in Illinois. Remember, and an offsite basically. The only way they can delete an FTD is when people cave in and sell. So when you sell, this is why buy and hold is so destructive to their world. It forces them to do FTDs, because if they don't do FTDs, the price would be right now in like literally $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a share. Like, I'm not making this number up, or I'm just giving an exaggeration. Because of the amount of buying, it increases the capitalization of the company per share. And that's basically, it depends on how much is in the company, basically, because do you think that we might have had already over $1 trillion in AMC invested? I think that we've passed that long time ago, as far as how many people bought in. If all of those FTDs were logged in, our evaluation would be at way over $1 trillion, maybe $2-3 trillion, and even more as a company. And if that was to happen, you divide it and see, you will see our cost per stock would be way over $3,000 or $4,000, which is of Amazon's or whatnot, or definitely way higher than Tesla's. So that's why FTDs exist, right? Now, how can they keep FTDs but not do them? They had this loop that the SEC have given them and the DTCC have given them, where they can keep resetting the time for delivering the FTDs, where they just play out of the money, way deep in the money, out of the money, way deep out of the money options. And that keeps resetting it to T+2 and the whole month cycle. It is just a big mess, right? Now, that purpose of doing that is to prolong the play. Well, either way, they have to answer to it. How do they not answer to them? When some people give up and start selling shares, then those shares come in. They take those shares and they match them with some synthetic, which is FTDs that they never reported, take them out and cancel one for one, and now they have a lesser pile. So they dished out so many, Now they're playing the waiting game. See who can last and who can't. And whoever gives up and loses along the way, they give up their shares. They're like, okay, there we go. Now we have this X amount shares. Delete them from the secret archives, which is FTDs. Take them away, throw them, burn them. No one will know about them. And yes, truthfully, no one will know about them because the real shares were brought in and they canceled out FTDs. Now, it doesn't matter if those were the ones for that share. They don't need to do that. All shares are the same, synthetic or real, they're all the same. They were paid for, right? So we can end that debate right now that somehow took months for a lot of YouTubers to tackle. You know, so synthetics and and real shares are the same because they were paid for. Now that's not the game they were playing. What they were playing was the game of the long yard. Keep playing it down the line. Some people will cave in. When they pay, when they sell those shares for a loss, guess what? Think of it like this. If all the FTDs were a million, just to round it up, okay? A million shares. They basically got money for a million shares. But when they did the FTDs and did not deliver them, the price of the stock didn't move up. So now the price, since they're also shorting it and getting shares from the from the inside that board, they use that to dump those shares on the market in case we ever was to get a rise. They submit so many sell orders all at once, all the sell orders that they got from the board. So it is costing them, but nothing compared to the amount of damage they would lose if there was a squeeze. So they would be more than happy to pay that. But keep your mind on that prize here. Remember when we said, imagine if it was just 1 million shares. If it was 1 million shares that were FTDs that were purchased, they got 1 million shares, money for 1 million shares. Now, somebody throughout these months and throughout the days, because, you know, this process has been taking so much time, right? Some people caved in. So they went and dumped their shares for a loss and said, I can't do this anymore. Whether they were margined, whether they need to pay their bills, whether they gave up, whatever the case may be. And we know that happened. Now, let's say 5%, okay? I'm not going to use so crazy things. 5% of that million sold their shares for a loss back in that time zone. That is easy math for all of us. That basically 5% of a million shares was given back so that they can take 5% of those million shares that they got money for and cancel. So now, even when they get to a certain percentage, because these guys work with numbers and they paid for a lot of softwares and all that to calculate for them and everything, and they got multi-million, billion-dollar software and all that stuff. They will calculate when that number of them that they got for as far as FTDs is more, that their profit is more than what they have to answer back. They'll let all that shit run loose. That's why they're playing the long game and keep pushing it longer and longer. Let more people go in, because again, if you pay me for 1 million shares and then the price never goes up, or at least every once in a while, once every 8 months or every year, and then it drops lower, and let's say I never deliver those shares that you're buying constantly, you know, the float was supposed to be 1,000, but so far 1 million people, I sold 1 million shares. Basically there was 999,000. If there was just 1,000, if the whole float was 1,000 and the market maker and the hedge funds, they basically sold us 1 million shares, that's hypothetically speaking, that means there was 999,000 extra shares that were sold that were never even delivered to this price of the stock. So that means they got 999,000 worth of money that they just took and kept in their back pocket. And now if people give up over all these year and a half of this movement, if people cave in, whatever the reason may be, whether it's margined, lack of liquidity, whatever, and they throw it back, in the market, they gobble that up and say, okay, you can burn some of those extra 999,000 fake shares that we sold because we just got this back. But we sold that share for a higher price. This person gave up and sold it for a lower price. Guess who won here? That margin right there between where you bought at and where you sold back at, that's their profit. It's very nefarious, right? Hopefully that explains it. I tried to give you a whole diagram from beginning to end. And this is how you see a slick person who's at least trying to be slick. And that's why I said, look at what they're trying to plan for, and that way you know their intention, and that way you can protect yourself from it, and that way you can come out on the winning side at the end. Because trust me, guys, the squeeze is imminent. You just don't want to, one, miss out on it, two, fall victim to some of their clowny games, and be ahead of it and call it out as you see it. And when you do, trust me, there's nothing that could come even close from within messing with you even now or even later in the future, in anything you're in life. So that's what happened to the FTDs from last year, and what happened to all the short positions, and what happened, and the institutional holders, whenever the hedge funds and the market maker needed to make sure the price doesn't go up, and the board was not providing as many shares, because we were buying a lot. What do you think the institutions did? They sold their positions to the market maker, because first they were lending the shares for profits, and that's it. When they made more than what they invested originally, way beyond than what they invested originally, guess what? It came down now to something simply is, even when whatever I sell it for right now is pure profit. I'm already in a profit moment because they bought in the 30s and the 40s, and they kept lending the shares out for over a year, making astronomical amount of money, and they already got their investment plus maybe 3-4 times. Now, whatever they sell it for to the market maker or to the hedge funds, is just an extra, it's like kind of extra tip even. So like they probably astronomically made so much money. And that's good. For us, that's good. Trust me. You do not want them to be that case of dumping shares throughout the squeeze, because what makes the squeeze go higher and higher is the lack of liquidity. You do not want people dumping their shares. If people are selling, then the hedge funds will have shares to cover, because that's the idea. When they get margined, they need shares to cover their positions. If there's no shares, they can't cover with the failure to deliver. There's those, they have to cover them anyways. So they can't use those. They need shares, whether it's from institutions or whether it's from us. So they need shares. And if we start selling, then guess what? It's like you've given them the shares that they need to cover. So don't blame squeeze numbers later on anyone or anything. At the end of the day, it comes back down to everyone. You are a part of this, just like the whole movement is a part of you. Hopefully that explained it, future. Do you watch Boss Blunt's Mrs. Tahiti? Yes, love him. I'm still hoping GME makes things take off, but something tells me still won't be enough catalyst. KJW, I've said this before. If it all depends on when GME announces that split or the stock split, dividend. So if they do it, if they say effective immediately, you better bet that's the catalyst of all catalysts. They can't do nothing about it. We never had a catalyst. Let's be honest, guys. All these catalysts of Elon Musk selling his shares, the war against Ukraine and Russia, the Evergrande, those were never gonna be catalysts. The Fed is propping up the market regardless. Even if the whole world, if Armageddon comes tomorrow, the market is still somehow going to trade. Yeah, I don't know, right? Um, I think that this is something that they can't do nothing about. That's why it's a true catalyst, because at this point, it's not about money anymore. If it's about money, the Fed's got a lot of it. They'll keep pumping it. But this is something they can't do nothing about. You're talking about 300 million being transferred, dividing into 1 billion shares as a dividend profit to all their, even if they want to pay out the dividends to the investors, GME is not a $2 stock. From here until June, you better believe, guys, these entities are going to do whatever they can to try to bring GME down to a much lower valuation. And I believe this is why Ryan Cohen and that board for over a year, they've been plotting for this, and they've been scooping up shares so that, and not selling them, obviously, like our board. And that crazy part about it is that now they cornered, even when these entities want to go and buy some, they can go buy them from these shares from institutes. But that's even better for GameStop, because when the squeeze, like when they do the dividend split, even if they get shares from institutes for high amounts, for a high price, like if these hedge funds or the market makers approach those institutes and they sell them some shares, it's not going to be cheap. So they have to buy them for expensive at 140, 150, whatever dollar valuation, to only dump them on the market just to bring down the cost. And guess what? They still have to pay for the dividend split off when it comes. It's a screw. It's a screw. That's what I call a catalyst. They're screwed. They're screwed. It just comes down to when the effective date will be. I don't see a way for them out of that. I literally don't see. I don't see the government giving them. I haven't done the math on the evaluation of paying off the dividend, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the billions or probably in the trillions. Yeah, probably like it's not going to be. Yeah, no, not trillions, but for sure in the billions. They're not giving them that for free. There's no way. And GameStop will be more than happy to even have that if they can pay off their dividend to their investors. Oh my God. That's why I love that board so much. They really do have their company's best interests in mind. Not just their investors or a squeeze. They really do want to strive forward. While our board is ready to serve us with some sweet words and say, thank you, apes, and I need to diversify my portfolio. I'm getting up there in age, and yeah. The crazy part is he did that, and guess what? He came back and bought 500,000 more shares. Yeah. So you're diversifying by selling and rebuying? Might be an ape, but I'm not a coconut head ape. Did I make a mistake buying contract and BLRX? T. Andrews. Well, let me tell you this. It's earnings season, right? This is volatility season. I told you guys before what was happening on the curve yield as well, the yield curve, and how the S&P 500 is going to be super crazy for these next upcoming 2 months. I was warning you guys before the time starts, and now it's earnings season, so it's even more going to be more volatile. You're going to see a lot of those stocks. And honestly, I'm going to tell you this. I don't have financial advice for anyone. I'm not a financial advisor, you know this, but I'll give you my output on how I see this world happening right now. I have my conviction in AMC and GameStop. Everything else, even though I have major positions in a couple of other plays, a few other plays, it's gonna come down to AMC and GameStop for me. So these other plays, I use them to benefit from, but I don't get greedy because even if they can afford me one extra share of AMC or GameStop, that's profit for me. I get out, come in. It all depends on how it works out. Some of them have major rips, some of them are consolidating. So that's a scary moment for me because you don't know at any given time, institutional buyers could easily pull off the rug, and you can fall like that fall could be much lower than where your average is. You don't even have time to get out, like, unless you get out for a loss on a major bag. So yeah, especially with calls too. Ooh, just have a strategy. Uh, you know, T Andrews, just have a strategy. When you see your a call or your thing go down below a certain percentage, just axe it out so that you don't risk losing more. Like I have a 20% strategy. So if anything goes under 20%, oh, you best believe I don't leave it in there. I exit ASAP because I don't want to risk, like I risk 20%, but I will not risk 80% of my investment. I'd rather exit. And if anything happens after, if I look at it and I see different things happen, I can always go back in, and it's easier to recoup 20% loss than to recoup 100% or an 80% loss. Hopefully that answers it, brother. Hauser, I made cinnamon rolls today. Thanks for the invite and thanks for the for mine. I just made you jelly with mine. Life needs frosting. Every franchise have their own thing. Like McDonald's, have it your way. Burger King, what is theirs? Live like a king. What? No. McDonald's is I'm loving it. Oh, I'm loving it. Burger King, have it your way. Cinnabon, life needs frosting. And Subway, eat fresh. Just stay away from Jared. Oh, yes, I should know. I should know how to say Hauser. Well, yeah. I thought because the thing is, I literally thought they say Hoosers, the Hoosers, but I didn't. I don't know why I called it Hoosers. Where did I hear that here in Cincinnati? Yeah, you're totally right. And you know what's funny? One of the best things I've done in Indiana was when the Super Bowl between the Colts and the Patriots, was it? No, the Giants and the Patriots um, came to and it was played in Indiana. I was there, and it was crazy, man. Those walking in those streets, there was all sorts of things. It was a crazy thing. Wow, it's an experience to be had. I don't know if you were around or lived in Indiana around that time, but I can witness to that. And I remember that was one of the two times where um, one of the Manning brothers defeated Tom Brady, and it was so amazing. And fortunately, at that time, Peyton Manning, which was one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, um, he was playing for Indiana, and unfortunately, he just never had that support besides Harrison and Wayne and a couple of just other players, but he never had the system that could get it going. I'm not the biggest fan of Israel, the owner. What's his name? Jim Israel, something like that, the owner of the Colts. So, yeah, I don't know. That was my little two piece on Indiana, but it was beautiful in the Super Bowl time. Good night, Tony. I'm about to head off too really soon now. It's been what? Wow, 3 hours. Look at us. Mr. Tahiti, good night, everyone. Much love, AB. Have a really great night. Smash the like button, everyone. It really helps until we meet again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great night. Night, sis. From Hauser. Speaking of sugar, lemon water can help reduce the insulin spike. Oh, okay. So I need to thank you, Hauser. I learned something new today. I knew it was good to drink lemon water, but for hydration as well, but I didn't know it was that good. Nice. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. Urze. So I had the name right, the first name, but the last name I had it wrong. Is the Colts owner, and he really isn't a bad guy. I mean, again, I just don't. I'm not a big fan of what happened, like in the Peyton Manning era. Um, I thought that he could do more to try to squeeze the best out of that quarterback. But again, he could again as a guy or as a person, he could be a really amazing person. I don't know much about him. Um, it's just my biased opinion for because Peyton Manning ended up leaving to go to the Broncos, and I just didn't want to see that. Um, but yeah, well, my beloved family, everyone, it was fun tonight. I'm glad that we had that very, very, very solid talk, and I'm glad that we were all here. Thank you all for your support and your love, and for all your support. Obviously, again, um, obviously, every time, like I said, always feels like a first time. So don't worry. I'm only gonna go to try to drink water and actually smoke a hookah, eat my cinnabon, and prepare for tomorrow's fast and another crazy day at the market. And guess what? Until we meet again, much love, AB Investments.